Hi, and welcome back to Hedge Fund Manager. I am Karl-Mikael Siding. This is my portfolio of listed stocks. My second largest holding is Canagold with 18.6% of my portfolio of listed stocks. Please note that I don't compare these with my portfolio of private held equities. In any way, I also want to point out that the Tesla entry here of 0.2%, that's a short position. So that is not me being long Tesla, if anybody thought that. So it's a short position on Tesla. All right, back to Canagold with 18.6% of my total listed assets. Canagold is a junior gold mining company based in northwestern Alaska and or northwestern Canada. I'm actually not quite sure about the geography. Anyway, this is a junior gold miner. That means that they are not producing any gold at the moment. Actually, they don't even have an environmental permit to mine the gold. So the only thing they have is full knowledge about the existence of the gold, the concentration of gold, exactly where the gold is, and actually also how much gold there is. So just in order to put some numbers on this, Canagold has somewhere between 1 and 1.5 million ounces confirmed in the ground, pretty easily accessible once you get the mining equipment there. And how much would 1 million ounces be worth? Well, at $3,000 per ounce, that's $3 billion worth of gold. So let's take a look at Canagold and see what is the market's valuation of Canagold. So just to make it simple, I will use the US Canagold to keep everything in US dollars so we don't confuse ourselves with Canadian dollars and US dollars. So but the stock I am holding is the Canadian Canagold. But that doesn't matter. You will get the same company no matter which stock you buy. So you can see here that Canagold Resources is trading at 22 US dollar cents with a market cap of 41 million US dollars. And if we go back to my quick calculation of how much gold they have in the ground, I used 1 million ounces and $3,000 per ounce to get to a $3 billion valuation, or $3 billion worth of gold in the ground. Actually, there are good reasons to believe that they have a lot more gold within their owned part of the land, maybe 3 times as much, pretty easily accessible as well, but we will see that in the future. They also have a lot of antimony, which is an important metal for defense use, for example, making ammunition. And but going back to the gold, if we were to instead use a gold price of $4,000 per ounce rather than today's $3,000, well, $4,000 per ounce, that is what I easily predict that the gold price will be about the time they start mining the gold for real in maybe about 4 to 5 years' time. So if we're using that number instead, I should also point out that they don't only have 1 million ounces confirmed. They have about 1 million ounces confirmed and about 500,000 more in something what you call inferred, which is pretty much the same. It's just not legally confirmed and used as a resource. But they are currently doing more drilling in order to get more both confirmed and inferred ounces of gold. So anyway, if we use 1 million and we use $4,000 per ounce, but you could use 3,000 and 1.3 million ounces if you wanted to. Anyway, in round numbers, they have $4 billion worth of gold in the ground, and they are valued at just 40 million. So there's a factor of 100x upside to the value of gold. And of course, it will cost something to get the gold out of the ground, and it will take time to get the gold out of the ground. Let's say they start mining in 4 or 5 years, and then they keep mining for 10 or 15 years. Of course, that long wait and the uncertainty of actually getting to production, all that should be deducted from today's value. So in a way, I actually think that this, let's take a long chart here of 5 years. This valuation at 22 US dollar cents, which is up by about 2x from its low point here in mid 2023, I actually think this is more or less a fair value today, simply because I think that the stock price could rise by about 100% per year for the coming 5 years. So that would mean first a doubling, and then a doubling to 4 times value, and then a doubling to 8 times value, and then another doubling to 16 times, and finally a doubling, a fifth doubling, taking the price to 32 times today's stock price. At 32 times today's stock price, 5 years from now, I think that would be about the same as saying they are valued at around 5 times their annual gross earnings. These are round numbers that you can see that the reason I am so excited and keeping a junior miner that don't even have a mining permit as my second largest holding, making up almost 20% of my listed assets, is because I see this potential for a doubling every year for 5 years. And I don't think it will stop there, because about that time, I think they will start to identify more and more gold assets that could take this to 60 times and even 120, or maybe even after that to maybe 240 times today's stock price. But then we're talking sometime maybe 10 years from now, and it depends on a lot of things. And the first 2 most important things in order to get this stock really going is a vote among the Tlingit First Nations tribe in the area, which control the area, and they have a veto on if a mining company will get to mine assets there or not. And then after that, they have to get a yes from the local authorities, which are the ones handing out the environmental permit. But they should get that if they get a yes from the Tlingit First Nations tribe. So that is happening this summer, the vote. And then maybe within a year from that, they should be able to get some kind of a confirmation of an environmental permit. And those 2 milestones this summer and about some kind next summer, that should get things really going. After that, it's a question of getting the equipment to the location. And that can prove to be a bit difficult. It could take 1 year, 2 years, even maybe 3 years if they have bad luck with the weather. But within at least 3 years, they should be able to start building the mine and start mining. So that should occur in at most 5 years from now, so early 2030. But I think it will start sometime during 2028 or maybe early 2029. Let's say early 2029 is my best guess for the first little pieces of gold coming out of the ground. And that should confirm a stock price maybe at least 20 times today's price, I would say.